Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to take a look at this Thomas Saf-T-Liner EFX Operator's Manual. So this is something I had made a community post about a while back, and I had asked if you guys would be interested in seeing a video on this. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. I'm not going to go through every single page. I'm just going to show you some of the notable stuff, because this thing is, let's see, well, there's 7 sections and quite a few pages. So on the front, you've got a picture of the EFX as a school bus, and then the EFX as a activity bus. Interesting thing you will see, and this was actually pointed out by somebody on my community post, and I didn't even notice this. This is an older EF with the front of an EFX photoshopped onto it. So you can see the difference in the color white. Like if you look at the front of the bus and compare it to the rest, you can tell it's 2 different buses. And also, this is the older EF body here, so definitely interesting that they made that choice. Maybe they didn't have any EFs in the multi-purpose setup available for a photo, I don't know, but that is what they did. I was just on Thomas's website, and I'm pretty sure that this photo is on their website as well. So anyways, that is the front. Back of the book just has the Thomas Built Buses emblem, Thomas's address, Thomas's website, and then this has a copyright 2015, so this probably would fall for like 2016 model year buses, maybe even 2017 if it was a VIN 2, with a model year 2 years newer than what it is. And then you've got the book part number, so that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and open up to the table of contents. So you have the introduction, the EPA 10 exhaust system, operator's compartment, operating the vehicle, emergency equipment, general information, and maintenance. So most of this is just, like manual, telling you what the different general information like the hazards mean. And just basically explaining the different kind of things you'll find in here, but we're not going to go through that. So the first thing I'll show you is this sticker for the VIN. Basically just has all the build information and the VIN and the body ID and all that stuff. And then you also have the vehicle emissions control information label. Of course that's blank, but that's basically showing you what it would look like. So the next thing we'll look at is this diagram of an EFX. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen this particular diagram before. You can see it looks like they honestly just took the front of an HDX, and which, I mean, it really is when you look at the headlights and stuff. You just can't see the grill, so without being able to see that, it just looks like an HDX. But obviously this is an EFX, so that is a EFX diagram. They're just talking about the GAWR, which is the gross axle weight rating. So that's, honestly, that is a term that I don't think I knew. So I'm learning something new, and I'm sure most of us all know the GVWR, which is gross vehicle weight rating. Now the next thing I'll show you that's kind of interesting, this is a C2, and it does say C2 is displayed for example only, but this is like, so it says Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards definitions. So these are like all the different definitions for the motor vehicle safety standards for the school bus. But I just think it's pretty cool how they used a C2 animation. They probably just didn't have one of an EFX. But there's you a better look at the C2. And it points out all the different parts on it that are part of the safety standards, which that may not even be all of them, but that's just basically what that is right there. So interestingly enough, in the section on the exhaust system, they do have a diagram of an EF, and you can tell that's the older front end, so that's not an EFX, but it's basically just showing you where the DEF fill tank access door is located on the bus. So next we got to look at the instrument control unit, which is always been an interesting thing to me. This one has the optional 3000 PTS transmission, so it's got a push button. The thing that I've always found interesting with these buses, with the EFXs and the HDXs, is the locationing of the gauge cluster being to the right of the steering wheel. I've always thought that was odd. I've never Well, that's a lie. I've been on the EFX and HDXs. But I've never, I don't think I sat in the driver's seat of the EFX, but I know I've sat in an HDX driver's seat. I don't really care for how the gauge cluster is positioned, because you have to take your eyes away from the road, which, I mean, I know looking at a gauge cluster you might look down and that takes your eyes off the road, but I would rather look down than to the side, personally, but that's just me. So over here, this is just kind of showing you the different parts that you'll see up in the driver's area. You got the driver's air vent, electronic heater and defroster. There's a switch blank. I mean, this is basically just telling you what everything is. They do have, well, first here is a look at the EPA 10 instrument cluster, which I assume that's because it's got all the stuff for the EPA, like the, you know, the little hot exhaust and all the stuff for like a DEF bus. Here's a transmission shifter for a 2500 PTS transmission, which is lever, so, you know, there you go. But anyways, back to this. This is just a look at the instrument cluster, of course. They do have, moving forward, this, let's see, what is this here? We've got, this is the display message screen, so it's showing you the different things you can, you know, toggle through, and what different messages might mean. They also have the switches, all the different switches you can have on the bus. So you've got DPF, diesel particulate filter, manual regen switch, you've got cruise control switch, set and resume, which is optional, cruise control switch on off, which is optional, which, you know, two different switches. You've got the panel dimmer switch, headlight switch, pilot light switch with warning light symbol. Let's see. Then you've got 8 light warning, door control switch, windshield wiper, washer control and indicator, parking brake valve, so for air brakes, which you guys all know what that looks like. Here is a ignition switch with anti-restart failure. So it's an ignition switch with 4 positions. Position 1 is off, position 2, accessory position, position 3, run position, and position 4 energizes the starter. The position is spring loaded. The switch automatically returns position 3 upon release. So, you know, basically a normal starter. This right here is not something I knew about. So it's a keyless ignition, and it's a switch with an anti-start that is offered as an alternative to a standard keyed switch. Turn the keyless ignition counterclockwise to start the vehicle engine, release switch as engine starts. So that's interesting. That's not something I knew was offered. Passenger heater switch, rear view mirror control switches, radio controls, see operator's manual, left heater switch, low, high, off, optional. Let's see, we've got boost pump on off, exhaust compression brake, high, low, optional, the retarder switch on off, optional, secondary reserve air tank drain, optional, wet reserve air tank drain, optional, primary reserve air tank drain, also optional. Then right here we've got a side console switch panel, so that pretty much is showing you the switch panel that would be on the side next to the driver, and it's showing you the 14 locations and what they can be. Let's see, over here we got auxiliary power outlet, 12 volt, which is, you know, like for a car charger or something like that. Switch blanks, passenger check reminder system, pilot light, noise suppression switch. We got defroster fan switch, air horn, ID marker lights switch. Both of these are optional, of course. Then you've got driver's dome light switch on off, optional. Interior light switches, and then you have the lift switch on off. This is something that I thought was interesting, because our 61, the C2 we have that's a lift bus, it has that, and it has to be on to operate the lift, and I am fairly sure that our CEs don't have that. You just, I mean, the key has to be on, but like you don't have to flip a switch to operate the lift. Then we've got, let's see, outside speaker horn switch, which is kind of funny. It's got a little music note for the symbol. luggage compartment light switch, strobe light switch, fog light switch on off, crossing arm deactivation switch, which I always thought was an interesting option because it just controls the cross arm. Emergency door light switch. So that's like if you have the lights, kind of like what 50 has above the rear door. If you've got that above the rear door or the emergency exit, that would control that. Then you've got air conditioning master switch, off, low, high, optional, of course. AC air vent switch, on, off, also optional. Step door light switch, optional. Warning buzzer, which is what alerts the driver when emergency exit is open, of course. Mirror defroster switch, and then destination sign switch, which that little icon is pretty much the same as what's on the destination sign switch on 50. Then we've got microphone jack, sander switch, override switch on off, auxiliary reserve air tank drain optional, chime on off optional. So this is something, I'll read it to you. Vehicle operator has the option of having the chime on or off. If the operator chooses to have the chime off, a passenger stop request sign mounted facing the passengers under the bulkhead above the windshield will light up. If the chime is on, the vehicle operator will be alerted by a single chime or sound for non-mobility aid passengers. Double chime sound for mobility aid passengers requesting to disembark. So that's for like, I don't want to say a city bus necessarily, but you know, for not necessarily for a school bus platform. That would be for commuter or something like that. Let's see, push button 8 light warning system. So that's your little warning light start button. So moving on, you've got a few more items. Here we've got the electronic accelerator pedal, brake pedal for hydraulic, brake pedal for air. Then you have the sun visor, horn button, and then you got the hazard switch for the flashers, which is probably on the side or bottom of the steering wheel. There you've got your defroster fans, door-end monitor, exterior 4-way or 8-way light, optional. Here you've got your driver's seat. So driver's seat and then mechanical base seat. Let's see. There's another picture. This is an air-based seat here, and then that is a driver's seat with a box pedestal. Then you have the seat belt, and there's your diagram of the driver in the bus with the seat belt. And then there's your belt. And then there's the driver's seat belt continued. Here you've got the engine access door for the inside since it's a front engine transit. Moving on, here are your emergency window exits, an illustration of the interior. So you've got your handle on the bottom here, or you can get the handle on the side. And then it does say that some states require that operating instructions be located on the glass. The vehicle should not be driven if an emergency exit is sounding. Over here you've got your emergency roof escape hatch, first aid kit, body fluid cleanup kit, seatbelt cutter, fire extinguisher, triangles, fuses, flares, optional, fire axes, wrecking bar. So here's your safety equipment boxes and accessory compartment. So this is the door for what's on the bulkhead where you'd keep the flares and triangles and safety equipment. And it's got the little glass or plexiglass. Yeah, so this says with glass lettered emergency equipment inside. So I didn't know if they had switched from glass to plexiglass or not. So here's a part on the outward opening door. You've got manual door opening adjustment. So there's a front of an EF, and it's giving you the dimensions of the door. There's the manual door mechanism, and then where the manual door mechanism attaches to the door itself. Here you've got the manual door opening adjustment. continued. And then manual door closure adjustment. And there's the rod for the manual door again. Let's see, door maintenance. That's just telling you door maintenance. Air operated door adjustment. So that's for an air operated door. There's your emergency door release sticker that Thomas's have. There's that same sticker again. Over here you've got a diagram of the door and the different components that allow the door to be opened. Right here you've got a side emergency door, so there's your demonstration of that, which that side door honestly looks like it's on an older Transit, but you know, they're still trying to demonstrate a side door. 3-point lock inside door, so that's for a emergency door lock. Let's see, over here you've got your window split sash removal and installation, so that's telling you how the windows are removable and how they are installed. So the next section's on glass. So you've got glass replacement, and it's telling you about the windows split sash push out glass replacement. And over here it actually shows you how to replace glass, like in the rear door, for example. So here's a diagram for the track seating, like on a wheelchair bus. This is basically demonstrating to you how much space is needed between the barrier, the seat, and the seat behind it, like when you're spacing them. So like if you remove a seat and then you put it back in, there's a certain part of space and stuff like that that would be required for those seats when you're, you know, putting them in. So this page here is basically just showing you track seating, general installation, removal, continued. So there's this little gauge that I guess you can get that'll help you space out where you're supposed to be putting the seats and or a wheelchair. So that's interesting to see. Push-outs, like you can't put a push-out window where you're putting this wheelchair. So this would need to be right here. That's I think that's what that's demonstrating. So there's the diagram of a side door with the barrier, and it says no barrier may extend past the door and no obstruction of the door latch mechanism, which is interesting because some buses do have a fold-up seat, like 66 had a fold-up seat, for example. So here we've actually got some pictures of the track seats. There's a picture of an integrated seat with the car seats in it. So there's another picture of a seat, then you've got seat bottom with the measuring tape, because that's measuring cushion width. And then this is showing you the integrated car seats that would have come on the Thomases of the time, which I'm pretty sure this is what the kind of, this right here is the kind of car seats our 61 has in it. So there's more pictures of the integrated seats. There's an aisle width measurement. All track seats must be mounted forward facing. I don't know who would think to mount one rear facing. There's an installing track seat, like a diagram to show you how to install it. So here we've got the air, electric, stop arms, crossing arms. So this is for the stop sign and then the cross arm. And then over here you actually have a spare tire carrier, which is optional. So that's the diagram of that. And then you have your folding steps on the front bumper to help the driver when cleaning the windshield. Then you've got your backing horn and heavy duty backing alarm, air restriction indicator, then the front access latchkey location. So the key to access the front panels for the headlamp and wiper panel is located in the dash storage compartment. So here's a part for headlight aiming, and that's an interesting little diagram of the front of the EFX, and basically just showing you where the headlights should be aimed. And there is a second diagram for headlight aiming from a little slightly different angle. Moving on, we have a, well, this is service inspection points, but you've got a picture of an EFX chassis, and there's different inspection points marked out on the picture that need to be, you know, serviced and inspected. So here we've got general vehicle specifications. So you got different body model numbers and the different window section sizes, wheelbases, body length, width bumpers, body width, height, 73-inch headroom, 78-inch headroom, turning radius, front axle track, rear axle track, and then the, well, that's standard, and then here's your metric. So then at the back of the book, you've got a driver's daily inspection and condition report, which you could make copies of if you wanted to. Then you've got a preventative maintenance inspection, number 1. Again, something to make copies of. And then it's got a back to the preventative maintenance inspection. Then there's a preventative maintenance inspection, number 2. And this is at different mile intervals, you know. So it's just got the different points to check for that particular inspection. It also has a back page. Over here you've got a maintenance general, so like where you would basically record all the maintenance that that particular bus received over its lifetime. And then the last 2 pages are blank. So that's pretty much it. So I tried to get like the most interesting stuff that was in the manual, because a lot of this obviously is, you know, reading material, not necessarily pictures. But I at least wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that was within this manual. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and yeah.